I think we're live.
We are.
Yay! Okay, friends, it's Wednesday, so we're here for Wednesdays with Whitney, and I am with Celeste Rose, who is a body confidence coach and well-being coach, and she is currently running an awesome challenge, which we will get to later in this whole entire conversation. But I've had so many interactions with you, Celeste, and for past couple of years, I think, and every single time we fall into these deep, intimate conversations about what it means to be a woman and what it means to live in our bodies and all of the challenges and the successes that we both have had, that we have both navigated. And I'm just really excited to bring the conversations that we have between the two of us out into the world. So Celeste, I'm going to kick it over to you. Tell us a little bit about what you do in the world, what you believe, and just like tell us about you.
Sure. So as you said, I'm a body confidence and well-being coach, and I work with women, helping them feel comfortable in their bodies, to release shame, release trauma, and to really get in touch with who they are at a soul level, realizing that they are an energetic being having a human experience in a physical body. And so that can sound a little bit overwhelming when you think about it. But what ends up happening is that when we're in these bodies, we experience something difficult or something traumatic that causes us to separate from our bodies. And it could even be separating from our body's wisdom, feeling shame about what we look like or who we are, because we know as women, we're conditioned to believe that we have to be, our bodies have to look a certain way. We have to lose weight in order to be good enough. And that conditioning goes really deep. And so what I do is I help women address the conditioning and remove the limiting or false beliefs that they have about themselves and their bodies, so that they're able to repair that relationship and move forward in their life so that they can achieve their goals, whether that's personally or in a relationship or in their weight and health.
Love it. And it's like, I mean, what you just brought up for me is that we are so complex, and we are energy, and we are like, what I love that you say is that we are having an experience in our bodies, and sometimes those are really amazing experiences, and sometimes those are really traumatic experiences, and our body holds the wisdom. And so tell me a little bit about, because I mean, I can resonate so much with this feeling of disconnection, especially as I've gone through some like chronic pain issues and things like that. Like, all I want to do is not think about my body because it's been in pain. But can you give us other examples of what does this disconnection do? What are the side effects of getting disconnected?
Sure. So when we're disconnected from our body, we view our body as something outside of ourselves. We view our body as, and I'll just say we or I, whatever resonates. Um, so for me, I viewed my body as a burden. It was like, if I could paint a picture, that like it was this ball and chain that was connected to my ankle that I was just like dragging through life, trying to get it to lose weight, trying to get it to cooperate with me, and then resenting it because it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. So it was like this push-pull relationship, and it had me stuck. I was stuck in this vicious cycle of self-hatred, of weight loss, weight gain, binge eating, drinking, all of these things to try to, one, escape my body and get it to shut the fuck up. Like, if I'm being perfectly honest, trying to silence my body, silence the pain, ignore the signals that it was giving me, because I did not feel empowered or ready or capable of acknowledging the pain that it was holding.
So something I believe really strongly is how we do one thing is how we do everything. And so what I heard is like, okay, you're having, we have these stories that we tell ourselves about our bodies, and there's not a woman on the planet, and honestly, I don't think there's a man on the planet that doesn't have a narrative around their body. And that narrative, what I know to be true is that mirrors whatever that is, whatever we believe our body is capable of, is also what we believe we are capable of.
Yeah. For sure.
You talk more about that, like from the transformation standpoint, from the the lightness at the end of the tunnel, like where do we head from here?
Yeah. And I'm so glad that you brought that up, and you can probably see like my face just
Yeah.
get so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going from the point where I believed that my body was a burden and it was preventing me from living the life that I wanted to live, I then resented it and was frustrated with it and felt stuck.
Mhm.
Um, there was a shift, and it happened at the beginning of COVID when
Mhm.
I finally realized that I had to figure out how to live in this body.
Mhm.
I had to figure out how to accept my body, how to live in my body, and how to move forward in my life. Because what I was doing before, which was holding on to all the trauma and all the grief and all the sadness and every story that I'd been telling myself, was not working.
Mhm.
And at the beginning of COVID, I'm a very empathetic person, and I think a lot of people will relate to this, that I was absorbing all of this fear and this like anxiety and depression and sadness. And I didn't even want to get out of bed. Like I was just overwhelmed. And I finally, yeah, figured out like, how do I be here? And how do
Mhm.
I make it not hurt as bad to be here?
So
And so
what were the things, like from the dark to the light? Like what were the mental light bulb moments?
so it was really a matter of personal responsibility
Mhm.
where I had to decide, am I a victim of my circumstances and a victim of my body?
Mhm.
Or am I creating these circumstances based on my beliefs?
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Yes.
most of my life, I lived in victim mentality.
Mhm.
And I got a real, I mean, I've had thyroid disorder, my thyroid removed. I've had um, colon diseases and digestive problems and weight gain and all these physical manifestations of my trauma. Um,
Mhm.
and I refuse to listen to my body.
Mhm.
I continue to view it as a burden and as, it's just acting up, like
Yeah.
not wanting to acknowledge that. And so the light bulb really was when I realized that I'm in control of my experience. And if
Yeah.
I don't like what I'm experiencing and I don't like the body that I'm living in, then I need to change what I believe about it. Because I believe what we believe, we will perceive, and what we perceive, we'll experience in
Mhm.
our in this world, in these bodies.
Mhm. So when you're working with another woman,
Mhm.
what is the thing that gets you most excited? Like when you're in one-on-one coaching situations with people, what are you like, oh my gosh, like this is it. This is the work. This is the thing.
When they have epiphanies and when they realize that they know the answers,
Mhm.
that their body houses the wisdom that they need to access in order to heal and move forward. It's not about me or what I tell them.
Mhm.
It's about the questions that I ask. I
Mhm.
use my intuition in these conversations, and I'm guided to ask certain questions to help them uncover the answers that they may have forgotten. So
Mhm.
it's not about teaching someone something. It's
Yeah.
about helping them remember what they already know.
Oh,
And that's so powerful when that happens. It's like you get goosebumps all over because you know it's the truth. Like you know that they finally found and remembered another aspect of who they are.
and that that should just be like tattooed across I don't know, wherever you can tattoo something that's on Facebook. But
Yeah.
it's like teaching them, or not teaching them, it's like you said it, showing them what they already know, like opening the door
Mhm.
to what they already know. Because what I know to be true is that a million people can, I'll just use me, a million people can tell me that I should do something, and like that statement, I'm like, oh yeah. But the moment that someone guides me to the place where I get to see for myself
Mm.
what, like, oh, that, like, once I actually see the truth, once I can't be told it, because we can't hear the truth from anybody else,
Right.
because it's not ours until it is like in us. And so I think that that is like, truly, that is what's so remarkable about having a coach in your life,
Yeah.
is that if there's literally someone by your side to ask the questions, to just lead you down your own trail.
For sure. And we're dropping ourselves little breadcrumbs the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It might be surprising to believe this, but every single person, every single woman
Mm-hmm.
is exactly where she's supposed to be, doing exactly what she's supposed to be doing. And she is being guided to the highest version, the healthiest, the happiest version of herself every minute of every day.
Mm-hmm.
So this idea that we're doing it wrong, or we can't get it right, or we're not good enough because we can't lose weight, those are just stories.
Mm-hmm.
The honest truth is that we are right where we're supposed to be, and that when we trust and we lean into that, then we're able to flow with that energy and things become effortless. So
Mm-hmm.
you talked about earlier, you asked like what happens when we're disconnected from our bodies. It's almost like living life on the sidelines where you see yourself doing something. You
Mm-hmm.
see yourself having an interaction with someone. You see yourself eating an entire freaking bag of chips when you know that like you can't eat the sodium, or you know it doesn't make you feel well.
Yeah.
But it's almost like your body has a mind of its own and you feel powerless
Mm-hmm.
to change your circumstances. You feel powerless to, I mean, a lot of people go on diets or lose a bunch of weight and then they gain it all back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the reason that they gain it all back is because they modified their behavior in an attempt to lose the weight, but they did not address the subconscious beliefs that resulted in the weight in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, I'm an Enneagram geek. And when I think about that, it's our core fears and our core motivations are literally with us almost from like, it's a nature nurture conversation, but they're almost there immediately. Like what causes us to fear and what causes us to drive forward. They're, first of all, they're linked and they are eternal. Like we are born, like I'm not suddenly going to become scared or motivated by something else.
Right.
And so I think like, go ahead. Yeah.
So if you think about like your subconscious mind, 95% of what you do and what you say is coming from your subconscious. 5% is coming from your actual conscious mind.
That's
Your subconscious.
small percent.
What do you say?
This seems like such a small percent. Like,
No.
oh God.
Right? So if you think about like your subconscious mind is created or formed between the ages of 0 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
So during that time, every single thing that someone says to you, every single thing that someone does to you, it just goes straight into your mind with no filter, and it forms those subconscious beliefs. And that becomes the program through which you live your life.
Yeah.
It's like your body's the computer and your subconscious is the program.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to lose weight and you can't seem to make it happen, or you keep gaining it back, it's merely because there's a program that contradicts your weight loss. It contradicts your goal. So when you're able to identify the subconscious belief that's contradicting what you're trying to create in the world, then you're able to shift that belief, pull it into your conscious mind and make a choice.
Yeah.
Do I go based on my programming from when I was a child and someone said something hurtful to me? Or do I, as an adult, a sovereign being in my body, choose how I want to feel and how I want to respond?
That sounds really powerful to me.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, my dear, I want you to tell me, so you are starting a 5-day challenge here really soon. So I want you, and I got a sneak peek. So I'm pretty excited about it and I will be doing it. And I want you to tell us a little bit about not what we can expect, but like, what's the goal?
Yeah.
Like, what's the goal as people walk through this, and what can they expect when they click that link?
So if you feel as though, and you mentioned feeling disconnected from your body, and like picture your relationship with your body, if you are feeling disconnected, as maybe a relationship with someone that you care about, and this relationship is broken or damaged. How would you go about repairing that relationship? You would approach it with compassion. You'd approach it with patience. You'd approach it with gratitude. And you would hold space for that other person to forgive and to build trust. So that's basically what we're going to be doing between our mind and our bodies. we're going to be taking part in a small challenge. It's not time consuming, but each day there would be a small challenge that you would be invited to participate in that will hold space for the relationship with your body so that you can work on rebuilding that relationship, because you need to have that trusting relationship in order to move forward, to release the trauma, to reconnect, to heal whatever it is to heal. If you have chronic pain, that's coming from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I fully believe that our bodies are capable of healing themselves when in the right conditions and the right circumstances. So that's what we're doing. We're creating a space for women to lovingly reconnect with their bodies, in a safe place that is private for them. And if they choose to share about it or to engage with the rest of the challenge participants, it could be an opportunity to gain insight or awareness from other people as well.
And you know how I feel about community. I'm like, if I'm doing something, I want to do it with everybody else so that like I know I'm not alone and I have some accountability. So will you be, so I'll get, if I click this, when I click this link, I'll get emailed the challenge. Like logistically, how does this work?
Yeah.
And do I respond in the group? Like, how does this work?
Yeah. So when you click the link and you enter your name and email address, you'll receive an invitation for the group. The group will be facilitated within the challenge. I'm sorry, the challenge will be facilitated with the group. And you also, if you're not on Facebook much or you don't want to get in a Facebook group every day, you'll also receive an email each day with that day's challenge. So it will be something that if you choose, there's my kitty. He usually lives at the neighbors, so when he comes back,
he's excited to see you.
But yeah, so you'll receive an email each day with the instructions for the challenge, journal prompts, and just so that you can fully reflect on and integrate the experience. We experience so much in our life and we learn so much, but we don't always take the time to bring it from our head to our heart. And so that's really what this challenge is hoping to do.
I love it. Well, I've read through it and she's accurate in saying it's not hugely time consuming, but it is very thought provoking. And I find like the practice of journaling, I find that I find things in my brain that I didn't know was there. If I just unconsciously write stuff down and I'm like, may delete later, like that's when I find the stuff. So that's what I really appreciated as I was reading through your challenge. I was like, these are my questions. Like, this is my jam, because I know that I can't always access that immediately. It couldn't go all the way down my own rabbit hole without somebody else giving me, I don't want to follow this metaphor all the way. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So yay, I am super excited. When do people need to make their decision by? Like it's happening pretty soon, right?
It starts on Monday, the 20th. So if you, I mean, you could even enroll Sunday night. But you should do it now. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's just an opportunity. If you're feeling resistance about it, like, ooh, I don't know, ooh, this doesn't feel comfortable, reconnecting with my body, what am I going to find? It's probably an indicator that you should be doing the challenge. And I have to say, I have, what?
It's the worst part about resistance when I feel it, like, oh,
yeah.
No,
I've personally done every single one of these challenges. Because I firmly believe that I need to embody the work that I'm doing so that I can have that experience, so then I can then guide other people to have that experience for themselves. So the Facebook group is for engaging, seeking support, seeking community. And if something comes up for you during the challenge and you need to bounce something off someone, I'm here. Feel free to reach out to me on Facebook.
I love it. Well, Celeste, we always have great conversations. This was no exception. And I will see you in the Facebook group on Monday, ready for whatever comes out of my brain onto that paper.
That sounds awesome. I'm so excited. Yay. Thank you.
See you guys next week. Thanks, Celeste. Bye.